Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Know Before You Owe. I'm Brian Parker, Vice President, Monarch Mortgage. Thanks for tuning in today. I want to step back a little bit, and instead of talking about learning about mortgages, let's talk about refinancing your mortgage. And what is the best time to refinance, and when is there a true benefit for you to do so? And I think the common myth that's out there is you need to wait for the rate to drop a certain percentage point. And while that's somewhat true, that's not really how the best math works. So let me kind of give you some examples and walk you through it a little bit. Let's start with a $100,000 loan. And maybe you have a rate of 6.5% or 7%, but you can drop that rate to 5.5% or 6%, a full percent off the rate. Well, on a small mortgage amount like that, that might change your payment 35 or 40 bucks a month. But for the cost to go into the refinance, which is probably going to be somewhere in $4,500 to $6,000, what is your rate of return? And how long does it take you to recoup that money? Now, a little bit later in the video, we'll talk about a strategy on how that works, but reducing a full percent can make a big difference on a $300,000 mortgage, but not a tremendous difference on a smaller amount, such as $100,000. So let's talk about the art of the refinance and how you make it work best for you. Just go ahead and assume on the refinance your closing expenses, meaning your settlement charges with your lender, the bank charges, the appraisal fees if one's required, attorney, and all that. That's probably going to be around 2% of whatever loan amount you have, maybe 1.5% to 2%. And then when you reestablish an escrow account, setting up your new escrows, if you do escrow, that's probably another 0.5% to 1%. So you should figure somewhere 3 to 3.5% of what it costs you to do your refinance and rolling that back into your loan. If you have the equity in your property, you don't have to pull that money out of pocket and bring it to closing like you do on a purchase. But let's talk about how you don't really put that money back into your mortgage. Yeah, you're going to roll it all back in. So let's just use a round number. You've got a $300,000 mortgage. It's going to cost you 2.5% to refinance, so say about $8,000. Now, on a $300,000 mortgage, if you've bought anywhere in the last few years where you're having a higher rate and trying to refinance to a lower rate, it's probably pretty fair to say your mortgage payment's at least $2,500 a month. So what we want to do is we want to set you timing wise on how do you close that refinance and recoup all that money you're putting back into the balance of your loan. So we're going to use an example. Today is October, and we're going to set you up to refinance. And although I could close you in November as an example, we're going to wait and close you the first week of December. Now, why are we going to do that? You're still going to end up making your November mortgage payment, yes. But if we close you early enough in the month in December on a conventional loan, you will not make your December mortgage payment, nor will you make your January mortgage payment. You will skip 2 mortgage payments. So you didn't pay $2,500 in December. You didn't pay $2,500 in January. You just saved $5,000. Now, on your current mortgage statement, you've got an escrow balance if you escrow your mortgage, and it shows you how much you have in your escrow balance there. And while the lender you're refinancing with will set up a new escrow account, that balance that shows in your mortgage statement has to be refunded back to you by law to receive within about 30 to 45 days after your servicer receives the payoff. So let's just assume that you've got $2,500 in that escrow account. So you skipped $5,000 in mortgage payments. You got a $2,500 refund from your escrow. So you saved or refunded back to you a total of $7,500. But you put $8,000 into your new mortgage to do the loan, right? So you can take that money you didn't pay your mortgage payment. You can take that refund and you can keep it all in your bank account if you want. But if you take and apply that all directly back to principal on your new loan, you effectively have the same balance with a lower payment and a lower rate than you did before you refinanced, and you get the benefit of doing that. We hear the commentary, I want to wait till rates get to a certain amount. So let me just tell you guys out there in the world, anybody that's under the age of 35, probably all you may have heard is something that started with a 3. Those were fake rates. They were pushed by the government buying mortgage-backed securities because the economy was stale. If we ever see rates below 4.5% again, we've got a lot bigger problems in our economy. I think you're going to see a normal rate environment probably sometime in 2025, 5.5% on average. So right now, if you can get from 7% to 6.25%, and that rate of return breaks out where you're breaking even within 12 to 24 months, plus you follow the strategy I just laid out for you, it's a win. And you should be prepared that you might refinance again in 18 months after that if rates were to drop even more from 6% or 5.75% down to 5% or 4.75%. I can tell you back between 2015 and 2019, I had clients I refinanced like 3 times because you just don't know if rates keep going down. What you do know is the savings you can get at that time. And if you apply the right strategy on how you do that, you're not putting those balances back in your loan if you do what I just instructed you on how to do. So that's a little tip on how to take advantage of the refinance market, because we're in one now. If you bought a home in the last couple of years, don't wait for something to get better because you don't know if it will. A bird in the hand is better than 2 in the bush, right? Your mom and dad said it. I've said somewhere down your line. So take advice, get some counseling. We'll help you where you need to go. Look forward to seeing you in the next episode. I'm Brian Parker. Y'all have a blessed day.